you used to drive Nismo Bay in the beginning half.
Yes.
Like when it first started. So
Yes.
give us like a lot of people are interested on it because a lot of people know the car, but they don't know the history and how long that car came.
Sure. Yeah. So Nismo Bay originally was it had the Fast Intentions twin turbo kit, which was a great kit, fantastic kit, and that is the kit that we set the record in. So at the time, that was the first manual Z to get into the 10s, which was very, very hard. I mean, I'm not the best driver, obviously. Somehow I managed to get a couple good passes where everything clicked and, got the 10-second pass, and that was fantastic. And for drag racing, anything, 10 seconds is quick, right? But going lower and lower and lower, it gets extremely difficult, extremely quick. So that's the other thing you got to keep in mind, with that.
Oh, yeah. Hey guys, SOHO Podcast back again with another episode. We have Jefe today on the pod.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, great. So we're gonna jump into the questions. So, what's the role that you play here at SOHO?
So at SOHO, as of right now, with Zspeed being involved, not a whole lot. Still, I'm on the back end. So, running the business, helping Nick, but with Zspeed in the picture now for almost 2 years, I am fully into Zspeed and doing everything there. So minimal stuff, at least on the business side. I'm not like answering phone calls and doing all that, just business related stuff for SOHO at the moment.
Congrats on acquiring Zspeed.
Thank you.
So we're going to jump into the beginning because you're technically one of our founders here at SOHO.
Correct.
So what was the beginning like when you guys first got started?
Sure. I mean, you've heard the first episode of the podcast with Nick, how he kind of went through the timeline. Started with my father's shop. So he got that shop in 1994, Pete's Auto Service, still in there, still doing everything. And basically, as long as I can remember, I would always want to be at the shop, helping my dad out, working in there, which is kind of funny. My mom had a story. I think I was 10 or something like that. I was working in the shop. And this client came up to my dad and was like, "Hey, whose kid is that?" And my dad was like, "It's my kid." And I guess she was trying to call like Child Protective Services or something because I was 10 years old and working back there. My dad was just like, "Man, get out of here." Like he's my son, he wants to work. But, after high school, basically went to CPCC to get my automotive degree, just to get the certificate. I didn't need it because I knew everything from my dad. My dad taught me everything. So when I went in there wasn't really nothing that I didn't know, which was great. So I did the 2 years. While I was in the 2 years, I was working at my dad's, got out of that, and then was full-time at Pete's Auto Service.
Did you always have a passion for in the automotive industry, or was it more of you just wanted to learn?
I would say so, just because my dad is my hero, right? So watching him work on cars, that's what I wanted to do. So there's always been a passion for that, for sure.
So getting into more SOHO related stuff, because we'll touch basis on the Zspeed stuff because we have some interesting topics on that.
Of course.
Whenever you guys first started doing engine program, you pretty much ran the whole thing.
Correct.
Give us a little backstory on how you jumped into that.
So jumped in very heavy. First engine that we did was in a G35 race car, black G35. Pretty much everyone knows what that one is. Built the motor on that one. That was my first engine. Came out fantastic. Super nervous, but that engine lasted a very long time. It did great. It did Time Attack Series, and then it just ventured on from there. The more I did it, obviously, the more I learned, and it just evolved very quickly.
Did it take a lot of up and beginning R&D, especially with starting an engine program?
Yeah, I would say so. And the engines we were doing when we started were very simple. They weren't what we have now in our engine program, which is vast and extensive. So, we were building DEs at the time. VHR building motors wasn't a thing, when we first started. So it was basic build, right? Pistons, rods, cams, put it together. That stuff, very straightforward. And with great companies like JWT, Carrillo, CP, all that, it was very, not easy, but it was straightforward to put together. So we had very good success with it.
Nice. So a lot of questions that we get, especially around our motor, like our built motor stuff, is when do you think for a client it is time to build their motor?
It's a very good question. So
and that varies obviously
and
because
that's
it's an extensive question.
Of course.
But
So
from like a DE, HR, and VHR, obviously.
So DE, anything more than 450, 500, build it. I mean, you can do it on a stock engine. It's not safe, so I would say build it on a DE. VHR, 650, 7, depending on the setup. If it's a supercharger car, 650, you're probably going to want to build it. I mean, you can run it, right? Don't know how long it's going to last, but you can run it. Turbo car is going to be a lot more efficient in that power, so you necessarily don't have to build at that. So I'd say anything over 700 is when you want to build it. And then a Z at 700, man, I wouldn't drive. I've driven at 700. That's my tap out. So people that do more than 700 and drive it, kudos to them, because I just can't. It's just too much power. So, but anything over 700, build it. And then if you want over 1,000, you're crazy. Get our Stage 2 engine, our HB, and have fun. Go break some records.
Touch back on the 700 wheel horsepower, like limitation or limit. You used to drive Nismo Bay in the beginning half, like when it first started. So give us like a lot of people are interested on it because a lot of people know the car, but they don't know the history and how long that car came.
Sure. Yeah. So Nismo Bay originally was it had the Fast Intentions twin turbo kit, which was a great kit, fantastic kit, and that is the kit that we set the record in. So at the time, that was the first manual Z to get into the 10s, which was very, very hard. I mean, I'm not the best driver, obviously. Somehow I managed to get a couple good passes where everything clicked and, got the 10-second pass, and that was fantastic. And for drag racing, anything, 10 seconds is quick, right? But going lower and lower and lower, it gets extremely difficult, extremely quick. So that's the other thing you got to keep in mind, with that.
Oh yeah. And did you do any of that like half mile stuff?
Yes, we did half mile with Nismo Bay when it had the Fast Intentions kit on it. I believe it was 158 miles an hour was our best, and that was still on the stock engine. Yes, stock engine.
How far did you guys push that like stock engine?
I think it was a little over. I think it was not a little over. It was very close to 700. So we dynoed it. I think it was like high sixes, maybe mid sixes. And then every time we'd go to the track, we would adjust it. I'm like, Nick, I need a little more, right? So I don't think we got it back on the dyno, but I would say with the adjustments and what I requested from Nick, I'd say it was over 700 until it eventually, catastrophic failure on that engine.
And then, so after that, you guys jumped into the built motor stuff, obviously. Was HR or Nismo Bay one of the like first like R&D cars, especially for like our engine program?
It was, yeah. So Nismo Bay, fronted everything on that, and we learned a lot. So we learned limitations. We learned head lift, what to do in the scenario. How to build these engines to withstand the 1,000+ wheel that Nismo Bay is currently pushing, and without any issues. So.
Nice. So for the Zspeed stuff, we're gonna switch topics a little bit. For Zspeed, you do majority of this. Well, you do everything there.
Correct. Yes.
So like, tell us like what is like a day in the life of George at Zspeed?
Sure. So day in the life. Obviously, I come here in the morning at SOHO, do a little bit of work, then I head out to Zspeed. So Zspeed, we have a warehouse. It is 10 minutes down the road, which is fantastic. Go there and then just get into it. So emails, phone calls that come in, daily, ordering parts, shipping, receiving, inventory, pretty much everything that goes into the Zspeed is what I do in a day.
Even in-house assembly, correct?
Correct. Yep. So with the C-Max, they come in 5 separate pieces. So before they get shipped out, I do assemble them in-house, get everything torqued to spec, and then box them up, and then they're ready to go out.
Okay. So explain to us, because a lot of people don't, well, a lot of people do know what CMAC is, but for our viewers that don't know what a CMAC is, describe the CMAC?
Sure. So the CMAC is an acronym for Clutch Movement Alteration Kit. On the '07 and newer VHR engines from the factory, they are a plastic internal slave cylinder from the factory, which is not the best idea from Nissan. So they fail, they blow out. Depends on the mileage. Sometimes they can last 100,000 miles. Sometimes they'll last 10,000 miles and they'll blow out. So what the CMAC does is it takes the internal slave and it relocates it to the outside, so external, puts a fork style system in there, and just makes everything much better. Ease of maintenance. If you have a slave cylinder that goes out, you're not pulling the transmission. You're 2 bolts on the outside, line, pull the slave off, put a new one on, bleed it, and it is perfect. The CMAC is the best kit on the market for slave cylinder relocation kit for HR VHRs, hands down.
Oh yeah, I've even experienced it myself. Like, it's very nice quality product. Tell the people, like, what else other products do you guys offer? Because you guys offer undershield. There's a lot of stuff.
Yes. So yes, undershields as you touched. So we offer undershields, 03 plus Nissans, so DEs, 350Zs, G35s, G37s, 370, Nismos, Q50s. We have those, G37 rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, shields. We also have our clutch kits. So we make, we have our flywheels that we make. It's a 19-pound flywheel. Pair that with our different stages of clutches, and then pair that with the CMAC. So it's a pretty extensive catalog for Zspeed.
So for the clutches, you guys have pretty much everything from mild to wild.
Yes.
Do you guys have any popular clutches for like our daily driver guys?
Yep. So our daily driver, our best seller by far, Stage 2 EZV. That is the best clutch, the best feeling clutch. Has our 19-pound flywheel, Stage 2 clutch, full face disc. It's a quiet disc. Comes with our CMAX. So the no chatter, virtually no chatter, no noise, the best pedal feel out of all of our clutch systems. And that, like I said, that's our best seller. That's what I recommend if you are NA, full bolt on, not going boost, Stage 2 EZV. That's the system.
So with the no chatter, this is my first time hearing about it.
Sure.
I know that's like a well-known thing with every, I think they're G37s, 370s. They have clutch chatter on all the clutches. So you guys offer a clutch that doesn't have any chatter at all?
Virtually none. So I would say 95% chatter free. It's there just because the factory system is a dual mass flywheel. So that's a 2-piece flywheel that, absorbs a lot of the chatter when you're engaging and disengaging the clutch. When you're going to a solid piece flywheel, there's nothing there. But we have a 19-pound, so that absorbs a lot of that, and there's virtually no chatter. You can go lighter, you're gonna get a lot more chatter. You can go a little bit heavier, but it's not good for performance. 19-pound, perfect midweight option, and that's the only pound that we offer is 19-pound. Nice. For that.
So we do have a lot of people wondering, is there anything up and coming for the new Z for Zspeed? Sure.
Yeah. Yes. It is a slow R&D process only because at the moment there's no demand for manual aftermarket stuff, just because there's not that many out there. So right now we do plan to have a couple of systems. The catalog won't be as extensive as it is for the VHRs for the new Z. I think we'll just have one nice full face disc if you're staying stock and you just want to get rid of the factory clutch system, and then we'll more than likely go to a triple disc version for that.
Nice. So kind of want to hop back on to Nismo Bay a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
So you guys said that you guys did a twin kit to begin with.
Yep.
And then you guys went single, I believe.
Yes.
Top mount.
Yep.
So we get this question a lot. A lot of people wonder, for efficiency, what is the best kit, top, rear, or mid mount?
Great question. In my opinion, efficiency wise, I think our top mount is very efficient. The twin kit, I think, is efficient as well. It's just there's a lot of, when you need to do maintenance to it, it's not friendly. I don't know if you've seen it, but to install a twin kit, it's extensive.
The motor.
Yeah. Engine's got to come down. On our top kit, you're a couple hours and you can get the engine, but not the engine, the turbo out, and do it in case there is a failure. There's really no failures on our turbos. We use Garrett's. That's top of the line. So in case you do, or if you ever have a failure, it's very easy to do that. But I think the way our crossover is designed and the cold side and intercooler, I think it is the best, most efficient kit on the market for VHRs or HRs.
For turbo kits, since we're already on it, you guys started off with the DE kit, correct?
Yep.
So when you guys evolved, did you guys evolve in like the R&D process, like on building it and designing it to make it pretty much more efficient every time? And how did you guys go through that process?
For sure, yeah. So with the first kit, we didn't really see, it was good kit. It was a great kit. We'll put it that way. It was a great kit. As we were running it more and actually tracking it, like on a road course, that's when you have, full stress on the car and you can kind of see everything it's doing. We did make changes to the hot side, made the hot side a little bit bigger because it was getting, pretty hot on that side just because the piping wasn't, up to par. Cold side was great on the DE, but we did come to a nice point where the hot side needed to be a little bit bigger. And that was pretty much the only change we did on the DE kit. It was pretty solid from the start.
Okay, nice. Well, thanks for having you on again. We do want to do another podcast on strictly Zspeed stuff.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, guys, and tune in for the next.